Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So as much as I'd like to believe that the Tundra is perfect, sadly to say it is not. So today what we're going to be doing is going over all the problems that I've had with my Tundra. So I had to make a list. It's on my phone. There was actually so many that I had to make a list. Now I do want to say before we get started, the issues I've had with my truck is not like my F-150. It's not whereas, you know, the engine thought was going to break down in the middle of the interstate and get me run over by a tractor and trailer or something like that. These are problems and issues, but they're not, you know, mechanical issues. One of them could have been or is a safety issue, but the rest of them were more annoyances and stuff like that than it was like a huge safety issue that my F-150s had. Now this isn't a comparison between the two. I've done several videos on that. If you want to see videos on that, go back through the channel. You can find those videos. They are actually my two top viewed videos, so just go look up the most viewed and you'll see those right there. But that's not what this is about. This is solely about the Tundra and what issues that I have had with it. Now on this list I do have 7 issues. Some of them are more major than others, and you know, some of them are just little nitpicky stuff. So let's get into it. First of all, we're going to go ahead and address the most concerning one that I had. And I've not done an update to this video. I will do an update to this here coming up, but it was the headlight flicker. Now, if y'all have not watched that video, what happened was I could turn my headlights on to one direction or other, not headlights, sorry, I could turn on my turn signal to one direction or other, and my headlights would have to be on auto. And when I did that, sometimes my headlights would flicker and then come back on. A few times they went off and did not come back on. That was like a big safety risk. You know, that's probably the biggest safety concern I've had on this truck. And that is, I ain't gonna say it's a common problem, but it is a known problem for the Platinum and like 1794 trucks, because the turn signal and the headlight is the same stock. So when you turn on that turn signal, I don't know what would get disconnected, but something would not, you know, make a connection somewhere. It would cause that headlight to flicker and possibly even go out. So if that does that to your truck, they make them replace the stock that the headlight switch is on. That's what they did to mine. Like I said, that's a known issue. It may not be a common issue, but it is a known issue. So Toyota corporate does know about that. They actually called corporate Toyota, and that is what corporate Toyota told them to change on my truck. Now it was a hassle. It was way more of a hassle than what I thought it should have been, because they were actually trying to get it to mimic what was going on in the shop. Now, you know, mine didn't do it all the time, so them getting to actually mimic it in the shop is slim to none, because the light conditions are different. You've got it in auto mode. Obviously you're probably getting more light into the windshield. It probably wasn't even enough light to even turn on the headlights to begin with, so that's why they couldn't do it. But I had to do some stuff I didn't really like doing, but we got it fixed and they changed that stock. So if it happens to you, make sure they change that stock. But that is the #1 biggest issue that I've had with this truck so far. But I'll do a video on did we really get that fixed coming up. 2, the parking sensor. Now I don't know if y'all can see this or not, but the parking sensors are right here in the front of the grill. I had a parking sensor and it did it twice. First time was at work, second time was at home. It had been raining really hard. Rain is running down and the parking sensor would go off even when I wasn't around anything. Now that being said, I got out, I wiped the parking sensor off just in case I got mud or something on it, debris on it, but that did not fix my problem. It still did it, and it's only done it twice, and it only did it in like torrential downpour rains. So, you know, we've had rains like that since then, but I had no issue with that since then. Now my buddy, Edge, if you don't, you know, follow, I think his name now is the Board Woodworker. If you don't follow him, go give him a follow. He's got a 1794. His actually did it in the daytime with no rain. Perfect conditions, no bad weather. It went off. They did replace his parking sensor. And that is the only time they will replace that, because they told me that it was kind of a problem with the truck, that when it rained sometimes that happens. I don't like that, but that's what they told me. You kind of have to live with it. It's not done it since, so it's not a huge issue in my book. Number 3, door lock not locking. Now, this is an issue with my truck. Sometimes that door lock over there will not lock. If you hit the lock button on your truck, here, let me go ahead and hit it. You hear that beep. If you don't hear that beep right there, one of your door locks did not lock. That's happened to my truck several times now. The truck may go back in the shop for that. Toyota did say that was a common issue with some of their trucks and stuff like that, so they know about it. I showed it to them the last time I got an oil change, because it actually didn't do it when I was there. It did not beep when I pulled it in for my oil change, so I made sure the guy seen it just in case they want to replicate it. I actually took a picture of his business card to remember what his name was, so I can say, hey, you seen this, I pulled it in, you seen it. But if you don't hear that beep, that one of your door locks did not lock. It may not always be that door, it may be another door, but one of them didn't lock, so you need to go around and check which door did not lock. And like I said, it may be going back into the shop for that shortly. If it does, I'll let you all know that. Number 4 is I have a little piece of leather in the corner, and I'll try to throw up a picture of that right now here in a second. And it's very minute, but my leather is peeling just a hair. Now, I got permaplate put on my truck. Now, you know, permaplate, according to them, was some great stuff. You don't even have to wax this for like 7 years. If your leather ever rips or tears, they replace it for free. So, you know, we're gonna test that on this. It's a really, really small piece, like I said. I'll probably have thrown up the picture before now, but it's a very, very small little piece that's starting to pull away. Now, the reason I say this is an issue is that piece is not going to get any smaller. It's not going to fix itself. It's only going to get worse. Now, this does have the Lexus grade leather in it. It is very soft, supple leather, but I expect it to be more durable than that with 35,000 miles on it than to rip. It's not necessarily ripped. It's almost like it's separating from the piece underneath it right there in the seam where it's sewed. And like I said, I want to get that fixed because it's not going to get any smaller. It's only going to get worse. And if I wait any longer, they may be like, nope, 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 nope. Everybody starts pointing fingers at each other like it's supposed to, permaplate's supposed to fix it. And permaplate's going to be like, well, it's a default in the leather, or defect in the leather, not default, but a defect in the leather, and Toyota should fix it. So, you know, I don't want to have to go through all that. While I still have a warranty on the truck, there may still be some pointing fingers, but as long as I have a warranty, somebody has to fix it. But that's an issue, no matter how small or minute that is. That did happen, and we're going to get that fixed. Next is tire wear. Now, I want to say that's not the truck's fault. I did a video, I don't know if it's up yet. I don't know when I'm going to upload these. I shot a bunch of them today. Actually, that's why I'm in the same shirt shooting all these videos, is because I've shot like 7 videos today. But I did a video on should you run 35s on your Tundra. I do have outside tire wear on these tires. It wears the outside edge way more than the center especially, and a little more than the inside edge. I do run like 60 pounds of air in them. That's just the nature of the beast. Now, if I put an upper arm on this, would it fix it? Possibly. But they said it was in spec, and just, you know, turning the body roll of the truck and stuff like that, I think that's probably what kind of hurts this. I have to make some sharp turns pulling out my driveway and stuff, and that don't help. And that's just the nature of the beast. Now, could I go back to a stock tire? Yes. Do I consider this a huge issue? No. But this is something that I have seen on the truck. And if you want to lift your truck and run this tire, this may be something that you experience, which is why I threw it into this video. We're not going to talk a lot about it because I talked about it in the entire video, but that is something that has been, you know, something I've noticed. Number 6, there's no carrier drop spacing. Now, there again, that's not a fault of the truck. They told me when I bought this truck, they did put the carrier bearing spacing, or spacer, carrier bearing spacer in the truck. Now, is that an issue? Not really. I don't have a lot of stutter or anything like that with the truck, But, you know, that is an issue that I have seen. It was something they said. I put that at the fault of the dealership, not the truck. So that is a dealership fault, not the truck. But that is still an issue that I've seen with my truck. Something they didn't do that they told me they did. So I wanted to include that in the video. There again, not a big issue. I don't know if I'll even put those in because I'm not having a lot of, you know, stutter with the truck when I pull out. It doesn't vibrate a lot, so I'm probably not going to do that. I actually just shot a video underneath the truck of the axle. I know that'll probably go up before this one does. You can see for yourself, it does move a lot, but I think that's totally normal. And the last one was the fog lights were loose. Now, there again, not sure that's the fault of the truck or mainly my fault. I did zip tie this fog light so it didn't bounce when I was driving down the road. But their design is they have a little clip that just goes through a hole, and you pull it over a little bit, it just pops out. I think they should have done these fog lights with like a self-tapping screw or something into the plastic, or even a screw into the metal or something. Made some kind of tabs that they screwed in, because I'm not going to take these fog lights out. Some people do, they put rigid in, but if you do that, you buy a whole nother housing anyway. So I don't know why Toyota did not just put screws in that. Yes, I did put a zip tie on it and pop it out, and then it become loose, and I just put a zip tie on the other side and retightened it back down, so it's all good now. But I think that's kind of a shoddy design on Toyota's part when it comes to that fog light. I think they should have used some kind of screw in that to actually secure that so I didn't have that issue. If you run aftermarket fog lights like I do, the LEDs, they're a little heavier, and if you don't put that zip tie on it with their design, the way it clips in, it will vibrate anyway, and that's why I had to put the zip tie on it to try to secure it, to stop it from vibrating. If they would have used screws, we would have had no problem. Toyota knows most people is going to mod these trucks and the Tacomas anyway, because there's tons of mods for them. Why not fix that issue when you're building the truck? So that is the 7 issues that I've actually had with my truck. Now, that being said, you know, most of those aren't huge issues. Some of them are nitpicky stuff like the leather. That leather may never rip any more than it has right now, but I paid a lot for this truck. I want it fixed. The headlights was the main issue that I seen with this. That was a safety risk. And like I said, I'll do a video on whether or not they fix that here in about a month or so. I'm going to give it a little bit longer to make sure it's still working, and then I'll do that video. If you've had any problems with your Tundra, please leave them in the comment. I'd like to know what you've seen, know what you've found with your truck, and you know, maybe I can look out for stuff like that with mine. I appreciate you watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.